We're back here, WHIP Radio in Philadelphia, getting you ready for Temple and Houston. Your Owls are the Eastern Division champions and will play in the American Athletic Conference Championship on Saturday. And Houston now joining us as a starting offensive lineman for your Temple Owls, and that's Eric Lofton. Eric, it's Zach and Mike. Thanks for a few minutes, and how are you?
I'm good, man. You guys feeling?
Well, we're doing great, and congratulations to you as you're now first-team All-Conference, as Rich Berg just told us that a few moments ago. So how about that honor? Congratulations.
Oh, man, thank you so much.
What does that mean to you to be first-team All-Conference?
I mean, it's just a credit to Body. And then I know my coach, Coach Weezy, offensive line coach, he had been on me the whole off-season, like trying to get me to be as great as I can. And I'm still not as good as I can be. So it's just a credit to my progress and a credit to our unit. Because it takes all five of us to play together.
It does, and your unit, Tom Herman, the coach of Houston, said you guys are the best in the American Athletic Conference. Just what makes this unit so special specifically?
I mean, just everybody going back to the plan, just knowing and doing your job, and everybody coming out to play every day. Like, no matter what happens. Like, when Kyle went down for a few games, Brandon McGowan stepped in and handled it perfectly. So it's just got to continue being tough like that and, just keep it up.
When Kyle went down last year, obviously, you guys were rotating new offensive linemen in and out each week because of injuries. Did that experience last year help you in replacing Kyle Friend, who is a big part of the communication on the offensive line?
Definitely. It's just like everybody has to be ready to play multiple positions now. Like, at any point during the game, you can see like maybe 4 or 5 different rotations, and every guy's going to give it their all no matter where they play.
You guys got some surprise news, which was some good news yesterday that Kyle Friend is back. He practiced, and he's been cleared to play. Just how is Kyle looking in practice, and how big is that to have him back on the offensive line?
I mean, it's always huge that we get one of your best players back, and honestly, it looks like he hasn't missed a step at all. He's ready to go.
We're talking to senior offensive lineman Eric Lofton. I would have said starting tackle, but you did start the year originally as a guard. How was that transition originally from tackle to guard, now back to tackle?
It's offensive line is offensive line, but I still play both at this moment. And if they need me to play center, I'll play center too. So it's just being ready when your number's called everywhere.
At what point did it hit you that this team was special? Was it at the end of last year when Kenny Harper told you guys, hey, 6-6, leave no doubt? Or at what point? Was it maybe when you went to that Notre Dame game?
To be honest, it hit me back in the summer, during summer conditioning. I know with this, it gets hard sometimes. And our strength coach is always harping on us like, it's gonna be a lot harder than this. You guys have to come together. I think it was one time we were here running maybe like 20-something 110s, and we all just had to come together. Hey, we got to get through this. We just finished that up, and then at that point, I'm like, all right. And last year, I know we definitely couldn't have made this, but this year it's something special.
A lot of writers have talked to Zach and I, and one in particular mentioned that there were more Penn State fans at the Temple-Penn State game. Obviously, you and I both know that's just not true. There was definitely a lot more cherry and white. What have you thought about the atmosphere this year at Lincoln Financial Field compared to previous years?
Oh, man, it's excellent. We got the students are behind us, the whole school is behind us, and, like, really the city of Philadelphia is rallying around us. So it's always great to have that.
You were here in 2011, and you were a redshirt last time this university won a bowl game, and you've been through the up and downs, multiple coaches changes. You've seen this program have 2 wins, and now they're sitting at 10 wins, and if you guys win on Saturday, you'll most likely be representing the group of 5 in a New Year's Day or Eve Bowl. Just to walk off that field at Lincoln Financial Field in your final home game as a senior and get that trophy as Eastern champions, can you put that into words for us, just what that meant to you after going through all the tough times and then now the good times of being a Temple football player?
Man, it was really, really special. I mean, because in my time here, like you said, I've been here for 5 years. I've seen great players like Tahir Whitehead, Bernard Pierce, Marty Wallace, Pat Boyle, a lot of guys like that. They never had the honor of like walking off the field with that trophy. So I mean, it's a great step, but it's always what's next, though. I mean, because I don't want that to be the highlight of our season.
Have you reached out to, or any of those former teammates of yours reached out to you? And if so, what did they say about winning the Eastern Division?
Oh, they just keep telling us to keep it up. Just like after we beat Penn State, they're like, all right, it's cool for a couple hours. Now you got to get what's next. This next game mentality.
Eric Lofton joins us right now, senior offensive lineman for the Temple Owls. Temple plays Houston in the American Athletic Conference Championship game on Saturday. You can listen to that game right here on Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP, with pregame coverage beginning at 11 Eastern time. This Houston defense is a very special one. Everyone talks about the Houston offense, but what stands out to you about this Houston defensive attack?
You guys are fast, athletic, and physical. And they'll hit you in the mouth if you're not ready for it. So it's going to be a great challenge on Saturday.
The game starts at 11 a.m. Central Time. How does Coach Rule get you ready? Because you're going to fly in, I believe, Friday, and then the game's Saturday. What is that going to be like, just the atmosphere of getting up that early and maybe shaking out the cobwebs a little, maybe having some coffee?
We'll be fine. We've had a couple of early games this year. Granted, this one's on the road. But if we let that one thing change us, then we really are the championship team, so we've got to handle it.
Take us through that mentality the night before the game and even the morning of. Like Mike was joking around with drinking coffee. What do you do to get your body ready the night before the game and even the day of?
All right, the night before, just relax, get off your feet, get your legs rested, make sure you go to bed early. And then the day of, just wake up, same old, just have a good couple meals before the game. You don't eat too heavy or too light, and then just get yourself ready to play.
If someone came to you guys when you were in the midst of that 2-10 season and told you in 2 years you would be reversed at 10-2, what would you say to them?
I say I believe it, because there were definitely a couple of games during that 2-10 year where you could have easily been 8-4 or 7-5. But it is what it is, and I'm glad we had to go through that to learn where we are now.
Now, you're not the only Temple player to say that. We've asked a couple of Temple players the question of, hey, how has this changed in 2 years where you went 2-10, 6-6, and now you're 10-2 with with exactly 2 more games to go. Where do you think that confidence comes from? Because a lot of people have said they're not surprised that they're 10-2 2 years after the 2-10 year.
Well, this confidence comes from preparation. So the more prepared you are, you should always feel more confident. And that's one thing we really learned, especially that first year of going 2-10. Like a lot of guys weren't sticking around here too late or preparing, watching tape or anything. But now you got guys in here till like 9, 10 o'clock every night trying to get like an upper edge on the other team.
We're spending a few minutes with Eric Lofton. This interview is brought to you by Peerless Boilers. It's Peerless who builds America's best boilers. Matt Rule was talking a lot about yesterday at his press conference how he still has to get these younger guys ready for next year. Who are some of those younger guys on the offensive line that we may not be seeing on the field right now that sitting here as a senior are going to have some successful careers?
Oh, man, just that whole younger class, you got so many guys who are physically ready to play now. We just have to get a grasp of the offense. Like Aaron Ruff's coming along, Samaje Reed, still Joe Ward is good, Joe Vaughn's going to be good, Benson Israel's going to be good. It's just like there's a lot of depth. So after we leave here, Temple is definitely going to be great. They have a great future.
And with all this success, there's a lot of national attention. People start to speculate about your head coach and if he'll take another job. How do you just deal about those rumors in regard to the status of Matt Rule as the head football coach?
To be like, we have one of the best coaching staffs in the nation, so it's only natural that people are going to try to poach him. And like you said, we pay no attention to it. We just focus on what's next.
So it's not a distraction at all?
No.
Elof, before we let you run, you only got 2 games left in your college career, and you've had a really good career here at Temple University. I know that you're still preparing for the American Athletic Conference Championship game and then eventually that bowl game, but do you at all think about, hey, I only got 2 games left. This has been a really fun time at Temple University.
Oh, man, I've been thinking about it all year. Just happy I chose to come here 5 years ago.
If you had to describe Eric Lofton, how would you describe Eric Lofton? Because I'm sure you have the aspirations to play at a next level. Let's say if I'm a GM of an NFL team or a scout, how would you describe who Eric Lofton is and what he could bring to a football team?
Just resiliency and toughness, because my career here started off kind of rocky, coming in playing offensive line for the first time. I was still immature. I wasn't physically ready to play. But as the years go on, I've really grown up and learned the position a lot better, to help me get to where I am today. And I really want to thank Coach Rule for sticking with me, even when I was in the darkest of times. And I was like, man, am I ever going to play here? He just kept believing in me, telling me, you're good, man. You're good enough to play here. You can play anywhere. You'll be good.
And Eric, before we let you run, final one here before we let you go, as I know you're preparing for this conference championship game, a big key if you guys want to get the win on Saturday is we all know Houston has Greg Ward. Well, you guys could keep him off the field if you go on some long drives like that 7-minute and 59-second drive up against Memphis. What does this offense as a unit have to do to go on those long drives and punch it in for either 7 or 3?
Man, just have everybody do their job. We prove when everybody knows that their job, we're right on schedule as an offense. Avoiding 3rd and longs and no penalties, don't beat ourselves, just things like that.
Well, Elof, we appreciate a few minutes today. Hopefully you get the win on Saturday and are singing high hopes in the locker room after the game.
Thanks for having me, man.
All right, there we go. There's Eric Lofton joining us on the show, WHIP Radio in Philadelphia. We'll take a quick break. He's Mike Zahn. I'm Zach Gelb, and we'll be right back.